5 easy ways on how you can control your emotions in a relationship and not be called crazy by the guy, okay? Hello, my name is Greta Bereisaite. I'm dating and relationship coach for women. For the awesome high value women secrets, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I upload new videos every Wednesday and Sunday. And just before I will share with you those 5 ways how you can control your emotions quite easily, don't forget to take my free self-awareness test to find out, are you behaving as a high value or a low value woman. Also, as you probably know, if you've been watching me for a while, I published my book, which is called Devoted Relationships. And some of the tips that I will share today are actually from this book as well. So if you want a further guidance, I highly recommend you to get this. And if you like my merch, His Goals and Not the Drama, you can also get it in my YouTube store. So without further ado, the number one is my favorite by far, because I see so many people making this mistake and things just completely get out of hand when we do that. So the number one is, don't take it personally, especially if what he is saying doesn't make sense. So for example, you are in an argument with somebody and that person is putting you down, right? We are nagging at you, maybe we nasty to you, maybe we calling you bad names, maybe just being nasty to you, and whatever we are saying, you feel like you constantly need to explain yourself, prove yourself to that person in a way that they should approve you, and you constantly feel like you need to please them and look for approval from them. Now ladies, when it comes to seeking validation and approval, this is where majority of us go really wrong. As when we look for validation and approval in people, a lot of times, first, we lose ourselves, and second, what if that person that is kind of making you prove yourself to them, what if they are just purely behaving in a very narcissistic, aggressive and just completely ridiculous manner? Ladies, you don't have to prove yourself to a person that does not make sense, to a person that is nasty to you. And trying to actually prove yourself to that person, you're validating them that they are right. Ladies, do not look for validation in people, look for validation in God. Now, what do I mean look for validation in God? If you read the Bible, you know what is the right thing to do, what is the wrong thing to do. You have the moral standards, you have the values, etc. Right? So if you know, according to God, you are doing the right thing, then it doesn't make sense to go and look for validation in somebody that is trying to abuse you, demean your value, or in some other way have the power over you and use you. And when it clicks to you that you are doing the right thing, even if it's not what the other person wants, you have to stand up for that right thing that you're doing. Don't submit to somebody that's telling you to do the wrong thing, because as soon as you'll do that, you'll come across as a people pleaser, you will come across as a pushover, and you will come across also somebody that doesn't really have any strength and can be easily manipulated. Other people usually lose respect towards people that are too scared to stand up for the right thing. Number 2. Now, with number 2, I must say you kind of have to be a bit smart in a way that you do need to know the teasing games. So I had a recent call with my client and she was like, Greta, I need to talk to you because I can't take this anymore. You tell me what to do because I have no idea. And she said after she slept with him, he's just constantly teasing her. Well, she actually thought that he's just rude and nagging and etc. But I told her, you know, it's kind of common with some men and he's just teasing you. So your goal is kind of not to take it personally, and sometimes for your own entertainment, for your own fun, you can tease him back. Feel free to do that, yet when you do that, try not to cross the boundary, as when things can really get out of hand and become nasty, right? But what is teasing? So men usually do that after we sleep with you. A lot of women, we get very dependent and very emotional after we sleep with a guy, you know, and we get vulnerable, and the guy starts to tease them. And when he starts to tease them, a lot of them don't have strength to walk away. And to be honest, there is no reason to walk away when somebody's kind of poking or teasing you gently. You cannot handle the teasing. Well, perhaps this guy isn't for you, because most likely he'll just do it forever. Maybe it will get a bit smaller, but he will do it forever. And if you cannot handle that, he'll just kind of have the upper hand majority of your life if you guys gonna stay together forever. If you can handle it and you know exactly how, then it's not that bad. And if you don't take it personally, it can even be fun. It's like a bit of banter and fun with each other. But in order to do that, you have to be insanely secure, ultra confident. You have to trust the guy that he's really into you, and that he's just playing these boyish games that he did with his friends when he was growing up. So you kind of need to know how to like tease him back in a smart way, and then kind of giggle to yourself at the end of the day, because there is nothing in the teasing that you should take personally anyway. Number 3, towards emotional control. And I thought this is a very interesting one. I certainly heard about it when I was little and growing up, but I never thought it's actually biblical. And it's staying humble. Now, this is a bit kind of subjective if you compare it to what the world is teaching us, right? Because obviously living by the world and living by the Bible is like completely different worlds, right? But this is very interesting. So as I was at the mass, a couple of masses, the preachers reading from the Bible that if you're coming to the party where you are invited by the host, for example, sit at the back or sit at the end of the table. And when the host will see you, the host will be like, oh, Greta is here. What are you doing there? Like, why are you sitting so far? Come closer, come sit here. So the host will lift you up when you are being humble. However, if you're coming into the party all arrogant and you sit directly next to the host, oh, I'm Greta, I'm this and this, right? But then maybe somebody else comes into the party that's better than you or more important to the host will be like, Greta, can you please move and let Jennifer sit here? And Greta, maybe you could move like 5 people down, you know? And then you kind of get a slap because you're being a bit too arrogant, and your value in front of other people's eyes go down a bit. So I want to give you an example when you go for dinner with a guy, right? Guys that really stand out to me during dinner, if, for example, the date is too late or something, right? And you come to the date and you're like, oh, I already ate, it's too late, but you're not complaining about it, right? Because you're trying to be nice. And he's like, what do you want to eat? And you're like, oh, you know, like, I'm not hungry. And he's like, no, please eat. Like, let's find you something, you know? And then you eat. But he's kind of like encouraging you to eat. He's like, please just eat like this, would you like this or that, right? So he's kind of pushing you to eat. And when you eat and the guy takes the bill, would you like another one? No, thank you. Yeah, have another one, you know? So this is so flattering, and when you leave and you feel nice and you feel cared for, in a way like we lifted you up. And I'm not saying all guys do that, definitely not. A lot of guys nowadays, especially worldly type of guys, you know, when you come on a date and you say you're not hungry, he's like, yes, great, we're just gonna make her drunk and that's it, you know. But these are the ones that really don't care about you and really don't try to impress you, right? I also remember where humble can be misunderstood. I was just kind of like gathering with people, right? And I was more like listening what people were saying rather than giving my own opinion. And this guy said to me, oh, you must be insecure and shy because you were like not speaking much. I said to him, no, I'm not insecure and I'm definitely not shy. But it just didn't come across in his mind that I'm trying to be modest or I'm trying to be humble, or perhaps I just don't have anything to say, that's why I'm not speaking and trying to impress anyone, you know. And whereas the guy himself, he was insecure and he was shy. So he just kind of assumed that I'm like that as well because I'm not speaking much. Point is, like, with being humble, depending where you are, you might get confusion with this as well, right? Another example, I know a friend of mine actually, with the girls that behave humble with him, a lot of times he thinks that we just feel shy because he looks so good. He doesn't see it that the girl might just be behaving a bit more modest and humble. So he kind of just assumes that, oh, she's just like not being cheerful and happy and confident because he's so intimidating because he's so hot, right? Which in some case it's true if you're insecure, but in many other situations that's not the case. Number 4 is setting in boundaries. Now, by setting in boundary, you are showing your value and standard. However, you are also risking of losing a guy. But if you do not set any boundaries, well then you already lost him. Why? Because you are not showing any self-value, any self-respect. Very quickly, when he keeps walking all over you, you'll get boring to him. He'll start to take you for granted and completely will lose interest, right? So by setting in a boundary, you might be risking in losing him, but by not setting in boundaries, you have already lost him. Number 5, where I find it's amazing thing towards emotional control is always have a plan B. Have a plan A if things go well, and have a plan B if things don't go well, or even for the worst case scenario. How will you behave if things go well, right? And to be honest, you don't even need to have a plan A when like things go well. You just naturally respond and you're nice and polite and you're happy, right? However, I feel like we always must have a plan B, just in case you're dating a bit of a game player and you know that sometimes he comes up with these cheeky little games. In that case, you must have a plan B at all times, just in case he crosses your boundary, just in case he says something out of hand, just in case he doesn't show up on time. You know, like for these type of situations, you must have a plan B and you must follow it, no matter how hard it is. And usually plan B is a boundary. Having it really makes you less anxious and more secure, because you're kind of not leaving yourself hanging if an uncertain situation comes up. And it's always better to have some kind of plan than not to have anything and then just overreact because somebody pushed you over the edge. And I also have a bonus tip, which is my favorite. This has reduced my anxiety by 70%, maybe even 80%, and I feel it's just going down as I keep going. So I'm not trying to push it on you, I'm just sharing my own experience, but I started to go to church every day. Maybe I missed a couple times a month, but for the last month I literally been there every single day. And It's like a miracle. I cannot even explain it. The way it started for me, I was doing this prayer that you kind of have to pray in a church for 9 consecutive days. And I was just thinking, okay, I'll just do this, I'll try it, I'll do this prayer, and I'll just leave, right? So what I would do before the Mass, I would pray the prayer, would stay the Mass, and leave. So I went to church 2 days in a row, and I'm walking home, and I'm just feeling so peaceful and so joyful. And I'm feeling like very, very different. And all my problems are there. And I do have enormous amount of responsibilities, which sometimes give me anxiety, right? And as I'm walking, I just feel so much peace and joy. Like all of these responsibilities will be taken care in the best way there possibly is, you know. So I was like, okay, let's finish this prayer and see how I feel. So I did the 9 consecutive days prayer in a church. After that, I like looked for the ways to figure out how can I go to church every day, because it's like the most incredible thing for like being happy and feeling at peace and just having a feeling that no matter what, God is with you and He'll take care of you and He'll do it the best way there is. Try it. So ladies, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please press like. Let me know in the comments below what did you think. Join Greta's High Value Women's School, where we are all in the same boat, learning how to be a woman of high value and bring out the best in our men. Follow me on my Instagram. My Instagram is called Ladies Relationship Coach. And for one-on-one coaching with me or a member of my team, book us through my website, which is called Bereisaite.com. And for the month of November, I have 20% off for people that are planning to join my VIP High Value Women Tribe, where you get the coaching every single day by me and my coaches. So with the special code, which I will put in the link below, for the month of November, you get 20% off the subscription for the first month. Thank you for watching. Kisses from Dorset. Mwah.